Good morning. My name is Casey with 5 Tons of Guns, and today we're going to be doing the Saeco lead furnace, rebuilding it, refurbishing it, bringing it back up onto its feet. We've got everything cleaned up, detailed. We're all set up for success. Uh, a couple kinks that we had was getting the bolt off of here, off the very bottom of the lead pot. You're probably going to have to mount gas that, but you can get it off. If you have to drill it out, the hole size, the depth is 3/8 of an inch. For the other two are 1/4 inch depth. Having done that, you're probably going to also have a little bit of trouble getting the very bottom off of the central body. This fits inside of it. You're going to have 3 little sheet metal screws, and they're going to pull the metal from the very bottom, which fits inside. They're going to pull that metal, those burrs, into the central body. So you're going to have a little bit of trouble getting that off. But what I did, I was very gentle about it. I used this pole, and I started gently going around, and I hit each place where the screw hole was at to knock it away from those burrs that were developed from the screws. We've got the cast iron lead pot separated and the heating element separated. This particular one was full of lead. If yours is, here's how you can do it. Take a little dipping pot. I'll put this in here like this. Now this will take me about an hour to get all the lead out of this pot. It'll start dripping, and then it'll just fall into the pot. 14 bars of lead we got out of this pot. It'll take you about an hour, but if you're going to be detailing this like the way we are, why you're going to want to do that, and it's going to be a lot easier to handle. So that said and done, we're ready to take the heating element and bend it to fit around this pot. Cut. Detailed it all down to the last part. You get to this point, you get it cleaned up. We've got it all cleaned up, powder coat and bluing. You've taken it apart to where you've got the central body. And, well, you have to get this, if you're going to be detailing this, you have to get the screw out of the very bottom. And that may give you some trouble. It's a Philister head. 3 days of break free did not do anything. We had to mount gas it. We got it jiggling. And we did not have to resort to a pair of vice grips. One thing about a Philister head, you can get it out and you can grip a hold of it. Probably the original screw. These are 10 by 32 thread. So this will allow you to take the central body shroud off of your lead pot. Now you still have this bottom plate attached with 3 little sheet metal screws. Take those off. And it's going to be hard to push this bottom off of the central body shroud. And just be gentle. I've got this little wood thing, and just go around it. It's tough to get off because we have burrs that the screw pulled into the central body shroud. Once you get it off, you're going to be all right. You can knock all that down with the file. Anyway, here we're going back to the lead pot itself. This particular one, I'm going to pull this the heating element off. As you can see how it burned up, we're going to, we have all the parts to make this thing get back in working order. Thanks to cast bullets, we've got the part numbers.
Whip for them.
You know, not exactly explanatory on how to do it. And, you know, having never done this before, but they make it sound easy. So we've got the parts, and we're going to get this lead furnace back up on its feet. Okay, so now while you're cleaning it, detailing it, we got the hole depths for the very bottom. That's 3/8. Your depth of your holes for the thermostat are 1/4 inch. Again, we're going back in with stainless steel hex heads, and the product copper never seized, which is good for 1200 degrees. I believe that we've just about covered everything. The next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to make a new heating element. And this is 40 inches, and we've got the center marked, and we're going to, the center is going to be right on the very bottom. Let's cut all this now. Well, we got a vent. I'll just hold on. And I'll tell you why. This will allow you to, when you get your central body on, you've got an index mark on it also. the very center of this box. If you have everything right and centered up good, this will allow you to go back on with your pour spout, your bottom bolt, your 10x32, and then your three little sheet metal screws. Then you'll be able to see the holes. You may be a half a hole off, but you know, as long as you can get that screw in there without having to drill a new hole, it'll make life a lot easier. Also, you get this cleaned up. I took a file, knocked the edges around. You know, it's kind of a rough casting in some places. That will allow you to go back to bed, to go back together a lot better and easier. After you get your shroud on the body, and before I drove this band down, I wanted you to see the index mark. Where we marked it, and we're right on the money here. Next we'll drive this back on all the way down. I wanted to show you that. This is the original band that come off of it. Alright, we've got the shroud on the outside of the lead melting pot itself and on the inside of the central body. You can see the band that went around the shroud we're not going to use, and I'll tell you why. Your thermostat that was on this has a footprint like this, where that band was going in between the cast pot and thermostat itself. This thermostat's a flush mount. I intend on putting a layer of mica between it and the lead pot itself, and I don't have a lot of confidence in it, but this is what they say to get, and we're going to go with it. Next thing you'll want to be doing is putting your firewall in. Now this is kind of representative. This is representative of what come out of the pot itself, like 4" by 12". Here's what was on the very bottom. You see where the pour spout come through the hole there. Well, we're going to go back in brand new with new firewall, and we're going to give you a place where you can buy this for $5. Now, you want to start wanting to pack the firewall in, and you cut it a little strip to get it right down here on the very bottom where you're going to be able to see it. And that will be below. That will be below your element. There's a space between the top of the pot and the element that we need to take up, and that's where this comes in. And we just put it in here like this, and we just take our little ruler here. And the shroud is allowing you to put this in. And I'm hoping that we can get a full piece in there like this without much ado. But you gotta get that little void filled up between the top of your pot and your heating element. There's about a 1/2 inch space there. And they have it also. I'm not going to bore you with getting this in. We're going to stop right now. I'm going to put this in, see how that goes. Now, if you cannot get the original band back on, get a hose clamp. And if, you know, put your worm gear on the very back. That would be right back here on the stand, where it will not be seen. And get a big enough one that not much of this will show, and you can cut this part off, and it'll look really trick. If you can't get the band on, cut. Alright, now after you get your 1 inch, your 1/2 inch void filled up below between your heating element and your lead pot itself, you'll take your 4 inch by 12 inch piece of firewall and take a little ruler and start pushing it down in there, and you'll get it. You just keep on working with it and it'll come. And this is this firewall, they call it a ceramic firewall. You can kind of feel it, you know, kind of like fiberglass. It kind of crumples a little bit. You can feel it kind of crumpling. Keep pushing it down in there, and you'll have to add some more, I'm sure. But get it down in there. The next, when I come back here after I get this done, why we'll show you to get the bottom on, get that indexed, and your clamp. I'll be right back. Okay, we've got everything insulated. You can see sides, the bottoms. We've got the top cut out, and we're ready to go in with the bottom. And we're going to stop for right now, and we're not going to bore you with hacking around on this. I've had this together and apart 3 times now, and every time it's a little bit of a wrestling match. Cut right now here. We'll get right back with you. Okay, well, we've got everything. We've got our firewall in. We have our bottom on. We have our bottom screw. We've got never sees on that. This never sees is good for 2,000 degrees. That index is in good. Your 3 little sheet metal screw holes, they index good. We're ready to put those in. If you're gonna use the original band, I've had so much trouble with this that, well, before you put your screws in, you have to your band. You have to have your band on there. That's going to give you a lot of trouble. And I just decided to go with a oversized hose clamp, where there'll be very little of this showing, and I can cut this part off and make it look really trick. Probably in the future I'll replace this band. But if you're going back with your original band, get that on there first if you can, before you can put the screws in. If you're going in with a hose clamp, you can put your screws in right now, take your hose clamp, spread it out, put it on there, and put it right where you want to put it, and it'll fit perfect. We're going to do that next. We'll be right back with you here. Then after that, we're going to mount this on its stand that it has. And that way, it'll be so much easier to work on. There we put our thermostat on, our pigtail wiring, get it wired. You want it up in the air where you can see it, and not down on the table when you're hunkering over. We'll stop for right now, and we'll get right back with you. Okay, now we've got this together, and we're ready to go again with the thermostat. First thing you want to do, if you're going in with something other than a screwdriver head, a Phillips, or a flat blade, you're going to have a little trouble getting this hex head in here. So you want to put that in first. Now, your thermostat. Now we have, let me back up a little bit here. We've, done the never sees on this. We smeared it where the footprint of the thermostat is going to go. And now we're going to cut out a piece of mica, and we're going to lay on top of the never sees. We're going to do that now, and can you hand me that, please? Thank you. Okay, thank you. And we've got the holes marked for the thermostat footprint. You cut out a notch, and this one here is going to go on the top. Just like this. Now the next hole, we'll just take a shell casing. And we'll cut ourselves a hole for the bottom hole for the thermostat. And we'll just put this up in here like this. Your hole lines up. And we'll be back with whenever we hook up the electric with the pigtails. Alright, now we've got our we've got our thermostat on here. We put a layer of mica under its footprint, as well as a layer of never sees, which is good for 2,000 degrees. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a couple little pigtails out of 12 gauge wire and get the power cord hooked up here. Now, you can't just use the ordinary automotive type connectors. You need to have the high temperatures, and I'll tell you why. These, you can get them nickel coated. They're good for 900 degrees. You can get solid nickel. They're good for 1200 degrees for an electrical connection. We're going to go back in our little pigtails between our power cord, and our thermostat. It's going to be stranded copper wire, 12 gauge. That's what come off of it. And we're getting pretty close to firing this thing up and doing a pot of lead. That will be all for right now, and we'll be right back with you. Okay, now we've got our thermostat on. We've got our pigtail running from the thermostat to your heating element. We're ready to hook up our wiring. We've got this sleeved with this heat resistant sleeving. Now you can get this. If you don't have it, you can get it out of like a microwave or a television, and the same way with the mica that we put behind the thermostat. Now we're ready to go back, and I want to show you about the ceramic spacers here. They'll go like that. You want to put a washer on top of it. And don't screw the nut all the way down on it. You're going to have enough room between your ceramic spacer here, insulator here, and you're going to have enough room to fit a wrench in between here. So don't run the nut all the way down, and especially don't tighten it. Cut. Okay. All right, we've got it all together. We've just plugged it in. It's heating up. No sparks, no nothing. This is going to work. What we want to do after this cools off a little bit, before we put the control cover on, we want to get some of this wool, fire wool, and stuff that down in here as much as we can to keep the heat in and from it destroying or discoloring or getting anything else too hot here. Now, I want to show you again what parts to get and where to get them. Now you're going to get your thermostat from McMaster Car out of Chicago. Here's the part number. I hope we can see that. It's a 40-inch bendable element. $850 They're about $32. McMaster Car. Now on your thermostat, you're going to get that from Tundra out of Colorado. Here's the part number here. They're $27. Now on your firewall, that's going to come from the Simon store. Simwool ceramic fiber insulation. You'll get more than enough for like 3 different pots, and those are $7. See it smoking. We've had it plugged in for about 10 minutes. Looks like everything's going to be all right. We're going to unplug it and let it cool off, get it back together, get the rest of the wool inside this control panel, and we'll put it back in service. I can't wait to use it. You'll probably see us using it on our bullet casting video. That will be it for right now. Okay. We used 4 other products on this project, one of which the Never Sees Copper Anti-Seize 2000 degrees, which is more than enough for these pots. Also, the cleaner degreaser, blue and rust remover, birchwood casing, and then your bluing, your 4440. It'll go over rust. You don't have to be so careful with it. And this was already rusty. Those are the 4 other products that we used. I'll get back with you in a little bit and you'll see this thing put together. All right, we're all back together here with Saeco Model 24. And we're going to conclude this. And it looks pretty good. It's taken quite a little bit of time and wrestling with the element, getting that right. You're going to wrestle with it and find it. And I was afraid of it, and I had to have a friend tell me that, hey, it's no problem at all. And I forgot to tell you that the bending radius tolerances on the element that you're going to get from McMaster Collar is 15/16. And it's a little tighter on the original element, so I feel like there's probably a little bit of leeway there if you get it a little bit tight also. A lot of cleaning up, a lot of work, detailing, and putting it together, back and forth, doing dry runs to make this presentation. Hey, was it worth it? Yeah. When I was a younger man, all of my mentors had Saecos. And I finally have one. They're a good machine. Now, I need to tell you that all the information on the Saeco Model 24, it also applies to the Lineman Model 64, except it's a little bit different right here where the power comes in, and of course your base plate says Lineman, and they're painted orange. I never did like orange. Alright, we're done. You'll see us use the Saeco. Now, I want to add, if we can come over here, I'd like to tell you about Mr. Richard Lee. I've used these pots for so many years. This is my second one. They don't wear out. You never have any trouble with them. And we have modified this one for our own uses. In that, well, we've got a little cover where it will fit a Lyman thermometer. And it sets them there straight. The clips that they give you with the Lyman thermometer, why it sets in there askew, and then it interferes with your feed gate plunger, and that's what we've done. That way you can always keep an eye on your temperature. 650 degrees, 650 degrees, you know, you pour lead. Now, the little lid, you take that off, and you're, you know, hot or cold, the thermometer will slip in and out, but it sticks straight up and down. It doesn't set in there askew like that, and then you're losing lead out of your spot because of this is interfering. Another modification that we've done is we've taken the plunger, the end of the plunger, which has a straight screwdriver slot on it, and we've taken a 357 Magnum cartridge and pressed that over it. And why is because when you're blowing and going in the heat of battle with casting, do you want to jiggle around with your thermometer and your feed gate, and then you know, with a glove, get on here with a stubby screwdriver and work that back and forth while you're casting? These Richard Lee lead pots, I cannot say anything bad about them. And especially, you know, you're getting a Cadillac for the price of a Chevrolet. I will continue using these as well as this. I'll never get rid of my Lee. I think that's just about it. We're going to shut down for today, and we thank you for your patience. This has taken quite a while to do. I'm sure we've left some things out, but no one else was doing this. We thank you, and we'll see you next time.